You dumb, beautiful fucker.
Who wants to be in America's slash fic with Abraham Lincoln?
Louisiana Purchase, that's a name.
You need to really get off my balls, okay? I'm gonna kick your ass.
Also, why was Michelangelo so stinky? Ew.
Welcome to episode 246 of the AllYouCanHear podcast. I'll be your host today, Patrick. And joining me today are my three contending co-hosts.
It's JoJo.
I be eating Lego pieces. Colt.
Wenzel.
Very nice. The first episode of the year, all for the core four lads here and ready to shine.
Yep. I'm sorry I couldn't make it.
Yeah. But don't worry, JoJo's absence will be explained over the course of this episode. Because what we have for you is another straight from the hip banter episode. We're just hanging out, shooting the shit, because, you know, the world's might be in a little bit of a discord, and we're just trying to, you know, take it easy, get our thoughts and feelings out, and just catch up and just see what we've been up to. I'm sure y'all are going through a lot too, so we're just going to keep it chill and easy for y'all.
That's a shoot, brother.
That's a shoot. Straight shooting.
Bang, bang.
Without
bang,
bang. But, yeah, you'll hear from Cannon at some point.
I'm sure he'll come down.
I miss Cannon. I haven't seen Cannon in forever. It's been a second.
It's been a while.
Me and Ken will interact on Twitter. It's fun.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just going to be us hanging out. And you with us, you know, we got a chair right there for you. So pull it up and hang out with your pals at AYCH. So, yeah. So what's everybody been up to this week?
I've been, just eating bugs and rocks, playing games. It's been another week of fucking COVID. And watching movies. I'm still continuing my movie challenge, where I watch one movie for every day of a month. At least one movie.
How many movies are you at?
I'm at 22 right now.
Fucking shit. I just hit 10 like not that long ago, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm making it. And then fucking Colt just like
a fifth of the way through the year already on movies.
Motherfucker speed running this shit. Just like, I gotta go fast.
This motherfucker's psycho because he'll go through multiple movies in a day, right? And then I remember I was talking to him and I was like, oh, well then you have a little surplus right there. And he's like, yeah, but that's not how this works.
Colt's just built different, honestly.
Colt has like the mental and physical dimension to just absorb and contain all the media that he consumes. It's like Fort Knox, but less gold, less precious material. Just a lot of like guts and bugs. The Colt's kind of like a bird too, because he'll eat rocks and sort of grind up the food inside of his gullet.
Yep.
It's fucking weird, and because even if he watches multiple, he has to watch at least one for that day. So I was thinking about it last night. I was like, okay, after what we watched last night, he'll be at like, so if he continue to watch one movie a day, he will hit 38 total movies for the month.
Yep.
He's psycho.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, there's going to be days this coming up where I'm going to watch two, where I'm like, I'm feeling like I want to watch another. So it just happens, man. It's just the way it goes. Like, I'm reading less manga. So the manga time that I had is going into movies. And then once I'm done with January, I'm probably going to go full-fledged back into manga.
I feel that.
I was waiting to say that. Yeah, I'm after January, I'm going to get serious and just watch 10 movies a day. God,
that's pretty fucked up.
Like he's gonna be like that fucking guy from Clockwork Orange, where they like just have his eyes spread open.
Like Colt just had like a VR helmet on, and just like it was like all the like energy, like the lights flickering inside of his house.
He fucking hires Wenzel to squirt like eye drops in his eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I just looked at the last day of January. It's a Monday. So I'm going to be at work that day, so it's not what I'm going to do that day. But on the 30th, I'm going to try to fit in as many movies as humanly possible. So I'm just curious how I can do that. I'm going to have to make it swear I'm like 1 hour and a half movies only, no 2 hours, and just wake up like 7 a.m. and just go till like 10 p.m.
God, Colt said he's pulling 18-hour shift at the movie theater.
Wait, you said the 30th. You said that's a Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh man. Okay.
Colt's just gonna sit in front of the TV, just like with a fucking diaper on, just like the text music, just blowing his hair back.
Well, the thing is that okay? So, so yesterday, which would be Friday, me and Colt got together because we were like, let's have a watch party, and we watched from 2 p.m. until like 3 a.m. We watched a total of 6 movies, and the reason why it was such long is because some of them were 2 hours, and then also we took like a break in like dinner time to get food, and now I'm thinking about it, should we do Watch Party 2 that Sunday?
I mean, to make it easier, yeah, probably. I mean, to make it like to where I don't have work the next day, we can move it up a little bit too.
I'm in.
All right.
You son of a bitch.
I mean, speaking of the movie watch party, we might as well tell them what we did yesterday.
Yeah, what all did y'all watch?
We watched, like you said, 6 movies, and we started the day out with The Prestige. My favorite of the batch we watched because it just kept like, what a twist! Just attacking you.
I would say that was probably my favorite of the batch. Yeah.
Don't spoil it for me. I still have to watch that.
It's really
well,
good. I saw it years ago, but it's like a really good movie.
It's so freaking good. It's a Christopher Nolan movie. And it was funny because the only reason why we watched it was because Cannon, we were talking to him at some point last year, and he was like, look, here's the deal. I will watch Interstellar if you watched The Prestige. He was saying this to me, and I was like, fucking deal. So I was like, I got to watch The Prestige for 2022. And then I was like, oh man, I don't know if I want to watch this by myself. I kind of want to watch it with somebody. So then me and Colt were... we were originally going to go see Belle on Friday, the anime movie, but because of like COVID and stuff, it didn't feel right. It didn't feel comfortable. So we were like, no, we're just going to watch movies all day, basically. And I was like, we need to watch. This is going to be the first movie we're going to watch. So Cannon, if you're listening to this, you got to watch Interstellar now. Nothing you can do.
I'll relay the message.
I know. I sent a message to him as well, saying that. But relay the message anyway. Relay it anyway. But no, The Prestige was really freaking good. Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale are competing magicians, and
genuine funny moments in that movie that I don't think they were intended to be funny, but we were laughing.
And that plot right there sounds kind of funny because they're competing magicians, and it kind of sounds stupid, but it's a really good time.
This isn't necessarily a story spoiler, but fuck, what's his name? Michael Caine. I called him Michael Keaton the other day on accident.
He kept calling him Michael Keaton.
I kept fucking up everyone's name
yesterday. It was so funny.
Michael Caine.
And the bit we had was is that Michael Caine loved to kill birds. He's like, it's so easy. And he just, every bird he found, he would just break its neck immediately. He's like, it's so easy. It's so easy. And then there was a horse in the street. I also talked about how he's going to choke the horse to death. It was a fun time.
I lost my we were talking about this bit while the movie was playing. It was so serious. It was so freaking funny. Michael Caine just grabbing a bird to teach somebody a lesson. I couldn't remember. Hugh Jackman. Teach Hugh Jackman a lesson. Say, it's so easy. Just snapping a bird's neck. Just snapping birds' necks. He's like, it's so easy. And then every time, I'm sorry. Every time Michael Caine's walking on the street, we're just like, oh, he just came back from killing some pigeons on an alley.
Like Michael Caine just has like a fucking BB gun and like a slingshot, like he's fucking Dennis the Menace.
No. He's snapping these birds' necks, Pat. It's brutal. It's gory.
Hands.
It's like
With his
he's
bare
pulling, like
hands.
Mortal Kombat level fatality from fucking pigeons.
I mean, he's Ozzy Osbourne.
And then there was even a good bit in the movie where we were making fun of him again, but then a couple of birds flutter away and he looks up and I'm like, oh my god, this just played right into our hand. Oh my god, it was so fun. Okay, it's a very good movie in all seriousness. I went like 4.5 stars, I think. It was so freaking good. It's again one of Nolan's best. I mean,
I went 4.5 as well. And speaking of breaking necks, we watched Prometheus, my second favorite Alien movie. This movie,
Oh wow!
absolutely ruled. I'm not going to give the context for the breaking neck thing. You'll know when you see it. But holy shit, I have heard so much shit talk on this movie over the years. This movie actually kicks so much ass. I don't understand any of the hate.
Well, like I remember that there were a lot of people who didn't really care for it. And then there was this very loud minority of people who were just like, yo, this movie's actually good, actually.
Yeah, no, there was like, it was like most, if you were like a crazy Alien fan or you were like a critic or something, everybody was like, oh no, it's, sorry, I got a burp. Sorry. it was like, oh no, it's too confusing. I don't get it. I don't even think the writers knew what was going on. No, it's not good. Not good at all.
It's
Yeah,
like
my
Michael
mom
Caine
hates it.
fucking poisoned the well of this goddamn movie. You bastard.
I don't know why I did Michael Caine there for a second, but
Because I remember seeing Prometheus like literally the year it came out. Like, God, it's been what, 5 years now?
It came out to 2012.
Oh, man.
Fuck me, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
even longer.
God,
yeah.
10 years ago. Jesus.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in theaters. Like, I remember liking it. I didn't think it like blew me away, but like I thought like y'all are crazy. Like, it's not like the worst movie ever made. Fuck off.
Yeah,
I will say
for real.
it holds a little spot in my memory because it was the first movie I ever saw by myself.
Huh.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because like usually. That was when I was in a frame of mind if I could get like a group of people to go see a movie with, and it's like it was just I'm just not going to see it. But then like I grew up out of that idea. But like hey, yeah, that was a fun bit of Pat trivia. The first movie I ever saw by myself.
Yeah, this movie, it's I would say it's made for like bigger Alien fans. Like if you're a mega Alien fan, you would most likely love this shit because it absolutely ripped my ass up. Like the 3 and 4 Alien movies, they sucked, but they were still fun. This one was fun and it was actually really good. It just expanded on the Alien lore with some cool characters and it connected back to the old movies, and it just was just so fun.
I haven't seen Covenant. I know that's one y'all plan to watch for your next movie.
Yeah.
Shazam. The only Alien movie that I actively didn't like was 3, and I'll fucking defend Resurrection. To me, it was goofy, but it was fun. Goddamn it, 3 was just fucking bleak and just bullshit. So like, yeah, I'll fucking fight people who said Resurrection is bad. Eat a turd. But Prometheus has rights. I'm saying it. Brave fucking stance, I guess.
Brave take.
I salute.
I salute because I watched this movie when it came out with my me and my parents. We went to the theater to watch it, and I mean even then as I was 14, I think. I mean I wasn't I'm not a movie critic or anything, but I remember liking it. I was like, this is a really fun time. And then hearing about all this stuff about how, like, oh, it's this and that and this and that. And I'm like, I don't know. I kind of got it. I thought it was great. And then
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, even then now, I was like, Colt needs to see Prometheus. So, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Like, for me, the criticisms I was seeing, it's not so much like the movie was, like, hard to understand. It seems like most of the criticisms I was seeing is that they thought everyone acted just, like, pitiful, just like infuriatingly stupid throughout the film, which I don't know. Nobody's actions really like bothered me that much. Although no spoilers for JoJo, but there's one bit at the end I just thought was funny. Like
yes,
like
I think I know exactly what you're
it's
talking
a little Looney Tunes, but it's still a good bit.
Hell yeah.
I just spit everywhere because I think I know what you're talking about too.
Let's just
I'll
put it like no context spoiler. Falling donut.
Falling. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
That's not what I was thinking about,
That's
but
not
that
what
is funny.
That's not what I was thinking either, but I totally get that.
Okay.
The next movie we watched was a lot more rough than I was expecting to get into. Belladonna of Sadness.
Yes. Oh my God, that fucking movie.
Like
No.
JoJo watched
the
that
first
a little
30
while
minutes
ago.
of it, I
Hold
was
on.
having no fun. Zero fun.
It is legitimately rough, and I don't like. I appreciate the artistry of that movie. I don't know if I really like it.
You know, so whenever right before we started, I don't know why my spidey sense went off, and I was like, does Colt know what this movie's about? So I was like, I looked at him. I'm like, hey, do you know what this movie's about? And he's like, no, I have no idea. And I told him, and he was like, well, and I'm like, let's go into it. So,
I mean, it's only 90 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not
The
a
first 30
spoiler.
minutes felt like an hour, while the back half felt like 30 minutes. It was weird. It went by really quick after you got past the spoiler alert 30 minutes of rape.
I mean, it's not a spoiler. It's literally the basis of the entire story.
Yeah,
It's-
like
Yeah.
that much is like in some synopses of the film that I've seen.
Yeah.
yeah. So the beginning, literally, for anybody listening, content warning, of course, for this film because it's rape and sexual assault.
And I don't think the movie handles it well either.
It really doesn't.
It does not. It does not. I would agree. So a peasant woman is raped by a local lord on her and her husband's wedding night, and that's where it kind of takes off. And she makes a pact with Satan to be like a very powerful witch. Like JoJo said, and like me and Colt witnessed, I mean, the art was fantastic. The music was
Beautiful.
actually really good too. 70s. Yeah, 70s is really cool. But subject matter is kind of I don't know, crazy.
Well,
like,
and the thing is I find the attempt admirable because it's trying to be this. I don't want to say feminist piece. I think that's too strong of a word, but try to shed light and try to say something positive and substantive on the subject.
yeah,
I just there's still like this I forget which moment it is because it was a couple years ago when I saw this movie. But there was one moment where I was like, oh, yep, this is definitely made by a man who has not been through this experience.
Oh, yeah, no, I read your review, which is really good actually.
Yeah,
and
on,
I was
Letterboxd.
like shaking my head like, yeah, I get this because it was totally like with the way they have our main female character set up, like, it's obviously for the male gaze, and I mean, yeah, the way it handles it, it's just not well done at all. And
But
it's
on
like,
the upside, though, it was a beautiful movie. The art was insane. There was parts of the movie where you could just like screenshot every single frame of it, and it would be an absolutely perfect work of art.
Yeah, and I mean, and granted, like the animation itself is very limited. A lot of it's just still images, just like the camera panning across. But like the art is so good, you don't really care.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that accompanied with the music, which I remember being like really psychedelic in an already very psychedelic film.
It's like what little I've seen in the film, like in like passing and like snapshot. It's like it's very like fluid color use, like watercolors and like it's very like they said, psychedelic and like psychotropic. But honestly, it kind of comes with like a cautious recommend because, like, everything we said. So, it's a very, I feel like a very well done piece of art. Whether or not its message hits that home run, that's definitely going to be on a person-to-person basis.
I should also say too, in JoJo's review, they mention about Satan's not so many forms, and how
is a giant penis. Like I will show you.
Me and Cole, every time we saw him, I was like, all right, okay, I get it. I think.
Yeah, it's like I think maybe.
Like it was just so like I mean there was points where he's like I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna build up, and it was like it was just him getting harder, and it's like okay, yeah,
Okay.
all right.
JoJo showed me the picture of like Satan as like this penis-looking castle that's on fire.
Yeah.
And again, the art was just so magnificent. It was like there's really good shots too of like landscapes. Like the way they did the landscapes is really cool. And at some point, me and Colt were like, "Oh, this is the end of Dark Souls 3." Because it just looks so like a wasteland. And I think that was kind of cool how it captured like the Middle Ages, kind of feeling like a fucking apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something like very instantly recognizable about the art style, because if you're like exposed to a lot of anime, you start to kind of tell like when a certain piece is being made in time. And like in this movie, you can definitely tell it's very 70s because it has like this very like elongated like proportions, especially of the face. It kind of reminds me a lot of like the Rose of Versailles, and or some of these, maybe not Rose of Versailles, but
Yeah,
I think it's. I might be showing my ass here.
Like the character designs are kind of like like you would see in like a fashion magazine or like the New Yorker
or Galaxy Express.
Yeah, or like the New Yorker or something like that.
So like it's definitely kind of reminds me like because like a lot of the big manga series had similar art style. They kind of like influence one another. So like a lot of like Go Nagai and of his contemporaries. So there is a certain charm to it, I think, especially how like dramatic a lot of these older anime are.
Oh yeah,
like I would say like melodramatic. All right. Well, what else did y'all watch?
We watched the famous, beautiful movie Polyester.
Yeah,
by the good boys.
directed by John Waters, starring Divine. The Divine. It was a great time.
Hell yeah.
It was so good. I felt like I was just like hallucinating and just not there, but I was there. I was like, I felt like it was hard to comprehend what I was watching. It was so fun.
I highly recommend everyone get the
Criterion
because it comes with the smell-o-vision.
Which
we wish we knew that before we watched it so bad.
It was so I completely forgot that was one of the big reasons why Tanner bought it for you was because of that too.
Yeah.
And because he liked John Waters. And like whenever we got done with the movie, I was looking through and then I find it and I'm like, Colt, look at this. Okay, so for context, in the very beginning of the film, there is a scientist who comes up with the odorama card, where whenever a number appears on the screen for a specific smell, you can know exactly what Divine is smelling when you scratch the number on the card. And let me tell you, me and Colt had a very bad time with that.
Well, I managed the first number I scratched. I forgot what the numbers like where they were in the movie. The first one I scratched was one of the worst ones I've ever smelt. It just hit you like a brick.
Every time like we got to a bad smell, we had to scratch number 10 because it was the spray, the perfume spray or whatever.
It's the palate cleanser.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, so Colt, once he gets done sniffing, and Colt gagged twice.
I almost threw up in my mouth. It was so bad.
So I take it and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start at 10, but then I'm gonna go back and start at 1 and go through all of them. And so that's what I did. And literally, one of them, as soon as I smelled it, it was such a visceral reaction. I literally shut my mouth, and like my mouth just filled with air because I thought I was about to throw up. It was so bad.
God,
I threw the card at Colt. It was so disgusting. But you know, the movie was so good. I knew too after watching Belladonna of Sadness, I was like, we need something that's just fun. After this,
we need a palate cleanser for our like head, not only for our nose.
So what better film to put on than a John Waters film? And Polyester was just a good time.
So Wenzel, is this your first foray into John Waters?
Yes, but this is my 4th John Waters film.
Oh, okay.
So no.
So no, yeah, because
I guess maybe
because
which ones of his have you seen?
I've seen Female Trouble, Multiple Maniacs, Pink Flamingos, and this. Yeah.
Yeah, because
I need to see Pink Flamingo. I've been wanting to see Pink Flamingos for years.
It's not easy to find.
It is not.
Because I'll never forget.
I wonder why.
I'll never forget the night that we watched it because JoJo, pretty much like ruined her laptop for by doing this. Because the only way we can find it is that we found a copy on like some torrent site,
Russian,
where it's a Russian torrent site, but the subtitles were in Portuguese. Which, like, okay, but, the audio's in English, so, like, who cares? But, like, goddamn, that was a hoot of a night.
And honestly, like, before we started that movie, I was already really, really drunk. By the end of it, I was a mess. And not a hot mess, just a straight-up mess.
Yeah.
Just a mess.
God.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Man, that's one of my favorite nights at the house, let me tell you.
Because we got this, like... this 4-pack of this sangria that you can get at Target. It's really fucking good. I forget the name brand, and especially like you cut it with a little bit of 7-Up or Sprite. But I drank the whole 4-pack. It's like it's just a 4-pack, not realizing that each one was like 13% alcohol.
God,
I saw the eyes of God.
I feel like that was the first time we had that sangria at the house too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, what a night. That'll live out in art house memory.
Pink Flamingo. I mean, not Pink Flamingos. Polyester.
And like, what's so good? Like, because Polyester up to this point is like his most grounded movie, but it's still buck wild.
Yeah, because
it's so funny,
and like it's legitimately funny, and like in a traditional sense.
Yeah. Like there's jokes, there's setups and payoffs and stuff. Like, and I'm not shitting on his like early movies because I love those movies to death, like Pink Flamingos and Female Trouble. But like a lot of it is just sort of based off the shock value of the whole thing.
Yeah,
I mean it was exploitation cinema. This feels like like a legit like comedy that probably wouldn't be out of place in like maybe like a Billy Wilder film, but it's just like a little crazier.
Yeah. No. It was trying to think what I was gonna say. Yeah, no, I was gonna say Colt. This is only Colt's 2nd John Waters film.
Yeah,
I should mention too.
First one I think I watched. Well, I've heard about Pink Flamingos. I just know that Female Trouble was fucking disgusting.
Oh, it is repulsive, but goddamn, do I love Female Trouble.
That is legitimately one of my favorite movies. It is so good.
Who wants to die for art?
Me.
No, my I think for me mine is so like I think I've talked about this before, but since I've watched Polyester, I got to change it now. So my favorite is Pink Flamingos. My 2nd would be Multiple Maniacs. 3rd would be Polyester, and 4th would be Female Trouble. Yeah, they're all good by any means. It's just like in terms of like what I watched and how I enjoyed it, yeah, that's where they all sit. And I should mention Polyester though. I don't know, Polyester might be 2nd because there's a really fucking good bit in there where apparently it's Halloween.
Oh yeah, they said no candy. You know what that means, right? Trick. And they just start trashing the house.
They just start trashing the house, and one of them pulls out a gun. And I'm like, this is me and Colt right here. Like, this is our bit.
God, I love the bit where she's being like chased through the house because, like, one, that's a funny bit, and two, like, it's such a new inclusion in John Waters' like directorial style, where it's like he's doing this tracking shot and she's like flailing through the house. It's a really good.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, that was actually really freaking good. I really like that, like how that was done. I was like, you would never recognize this as what was this, 80s?
Yeah, I think it
80s.
came out in 1980.
Yeah,
1981.
I was like, this, like that shot right there was like, this does not feel like an 80s film right here. Like, that's pretty damn good. I don't know. That was really damn good, really damn beautiful.
One of my favorite bits in that movie is when like the teenage hooligans like run this lady off of the road or something. It was the choir lady, and she chases him down on a bus, forces him to wreck, and like bites the tire.
Bites the tire?
I remember that. We were screaming at that point.
That was good.
And then I think she just legit beats the shit out of him too. It's so fucking
and you know,
bonkers.
it's so funny because this guy is supposed to be a tough guy. Dude is like so skinny, like so small.
Because it's the same group of like hooligans that Divine's daughter is like hooking up with.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because I remember like
And
her whole family is like fucked up. Like her son has this deranged foot fetish. He's like hunting women for their feet or some shit.
No, he's hunting them for their feet and stomping on them.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He's the serial stomper.
That's right. That's right. And it's funny is like as wild as this movie is, like you actually really do feel for Divine's character because she's like, man, she just goes through the fucking ringer. It's like, damn it.
Oh yeah,
like that's sad.
Yeah.
And then like
For
her
real.
husband's like a porn director or something.
Yeah. It's like I'm a good Christian woman as we're like throwing trash at her.
Okay, no, there was another good bit with that where there was, because he owns an X-rated theater, and there was there was like a news team who were covering it, and literally there's just a guy with a mic, and it's like literally as the film ends, all the people are coming out, and it's just this guy. I kept doing this bit all throughout the night, like, sir, would you like to come on the film you saw? It's just a bunch of dudes, look like all like sex offenders, just either zipping their pants, walking out, sunglasses, covering their faces. It's so good. like yeah, it was just because it's just like, I'm like, that's such a good bit. Just have a news guy just trying to comment about what these guys just jerked off to. That's so good. That's genius.
Like,
I don't know.
It's just like man on the street interviews. Like, hey, how was like Rug Monster 69?
Hey, this was the year of the porno. Well, granted, according to Boogie Nights, this is when the porno shit was going down the tubes. So maybe not, but like, you know, this was like the tail end of porno chic, right?
It's like, you know what, Rug Monster really went
We're
downhill
on Deep
after
Throat
57.
10 at this point. Deep even harder.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, it was a fun time.
The next movie we watched was a little bit more serious, but also really fun. Was Trainspotting.
Okay.
I've heard about this movie over the years. People saying, I love this movie. This movie's so good. And I'm very glad we watched this movie with subtitles, because I did not. If I didn't have them, I would have no clue what these people are saying.
It's a very Scottish movie, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
This movie was very rough because it follows a group of friends that are struggling with drug
Heroin.
addiction and
Yeah.
trying to find money, scrounge up money to get drugs. It starts off with like one of the most disgusting scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
Oh my god, we literally, after getting done gagging at smelling stuff, we literally start gagging again.
Oh no.
It was so freaking, oh my god, it was so disgusting.
God, Ewan McGregor, you saw his penis as well. That's another fun fact. It felt so strange seeing him do these things. Like, just think about it. in a few years, you're going to be fucking a Jedi.
You're going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Like, sooner than you realize.
And doesn't Ewan McGregor just have like a monster dong too?
It was fairly big. I'll say soft. It was fairly big. We did not see it hard, so I do not know.
Because that is
I
a
have no
rumor
idea.
that he's just like a fucking just like hung like a monster.
Ewan was not erect in this movie. Sorry to bust your bubble.
We saw a lot of penis, actually. Yeah.
A lot, yeah. The Scottish are not afraid to show.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's one thing in this movie that, like, I don't know why they included it, because this movie would be the exact same without it. It just, like, you don't need that. And if it didn't have that thing in the movie, I'd probably go 4.5 stars, because this movie was really good other than that.
Yeah, it was like really good. Like performances were great. It was actually the funny moments. Like it was genuinely, humorous and also kind of touching in a way.
Yeah.
Well, touching because Ewan McGregor's character he's trying to get off drugs and actually live a life, but he keeps getting pulled back in because of his friends, and like that's tough. Like that sucks and that's hard. Especially when it's drug addiction, but like Colt said, I was not too happy with that. But it wasn't the focus of the film, so
Yeah, unlike one other movie. Let's just say Licorice Pizza.
If you
But it's not to the same extent, but it is still bad.
But you know what? I'm starting to remember a really funny moment. Oh man, with Spud.
Spud was just there getting the abuse. I feel bad for Spud.
Man, poor Spud. Oh my god! I just remember something in polyester that was so fucking funny.
I mean,
Well, let's circle
It had to
back.
do with-
Okay.
Sorry, it just had to do with the dog. That's it.
oh my god.
Me and Colt were screaming.
Y'all not remember the dog?
It's been a couple years.
Yeah,
We watched that 20
Probably it was during COVID.
20
I
it
think.
was 2020.
Skip ahead 5 seconds if you don't. This spoiler for polyester. It's not huge, but it's still a spoiler. Skip ahead 5 seconds now. The dog hangs itself and leaves a suicide note.
Yes! Oh my god. Yes.
And while her daughter is trying to give her a stomach punch abortion, trying to give herself like.
Yes, I love it.
Yes, I remember that. Jesus. Strangely
Okay.
enough, that means that you saying that reminds me. I've seen 2 movies where a dog has been hung. Strange.
That is strange.
Pat. You don't make that a third.
I mean, I can't help. I didn't know when I watched that fucking dog shit movie, Revenge for Jolly. I didn't know the first 3 minutes of that movie is going to be the silhouette of a miniature pincher Doberman, like being lynched from a ceiling fan. I didn't know that walking in.
I don't know. Pat knew that. Pat's lying.
Yeah, but to end our movie night, we had to watch one of my least favorite movies I've seen in a long time. It was made specifically to make me frustrated and just like angry the whole 2 hours of it, and that was 2017's Mother.
You know,
Oh my god!
when you said that in chat last night, I was like, I couldn't help but think, okay, I wonder what this reaction is going to be, because I've heard mostly negative about the film Mother, and that's Mother with an exclamation point. Mother!
But it's not. It's little m mother, like lowercase m. So it's mother.
Yeah.
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 And so, tell us about that.
It's essentially 2 hours of Jennifer Lawrence being abused by her terrible husband that only cares about himself and his feelings. There's one scene, I want to say it, but it's also a big spoiler, because if it's the one scene that pisses me off the most.
I mean,
Does everyone here care?
I mean, I don't ever see myself watching it personally.
I would only watch it for science, and basically,
Well-
from how the movie was described to me, I was like, oh, I would hate that. And it was basically y'all's reaction to it. So I know I shouldn't watch it.
So spoiler alert inbound for Mother. If you have any interest to see it, jump ahead a few bits. Colt, go ahead.
No, but heads up though, JoJo, when I return Polyester and Boogie Nights and Punch Drunk Love to you, I'm gonna sneak Mother in there.
Please don't.
He's like, yeah, I don't want this shit anymore.
Well, jumping ahead, Jennifer Lawrence is pregnant. Some shit happens. She has a baby. The whole crowd in the house is going wild. We're skipping a lot of stuff here.
Oh, yeah.
But the baby is taken from her while she's sleeping. And the husband says, everybody in the crowd, look at this baby. And they're like, they take the baby and start holding it, like crowd surfing the baby. The baby's pissing all over everyone. There's a stream like going everywhere. And all of a sudden you hear a crack noise, and the baby's neck's fucking broken. And then Jennifer Lawrence is freaking out because she just watched her baby die. And she runs to go see, oh my God, my baby, what's going on? And then she reaches one guy and he's like, it's fine, he's not dead. You can hear the voice. She starts screaming like, what are you talking about? And the camera pans and you see the baby being eaten by everyone. And she just like starts screaming even more, and just my favorite scene in the whole movie finally happens right after the worst one, where she just starts stabbing people with broken glass on the ground. This movie, oh my God, it was nothing but like, it's not gaslighting. It's like just her being mistreated for 2 hours.
And the thing is too, it's a very like, okay, so when I bought this, it was on the day before Tanner's wedding. We stopped at Dollar General. It was only maybe $5.
All the fucking movies that be at Dollar General. This fucking art house garbage.
And yeah, no, I remember when it first came out, everybody was talking about how much they hate it, and it's so funny because on my friends who I follow on Letterboxd, there's only 3 people who give it 4 stars, but then everybody else either doesn't rate it or they rate it like a half star. And like all I've heard is negative things, and going into it I was like, we're either gonna really like this or we're gonna really fucking hate it. And
surprise.
I don't know. It's pretentious. It's very an extreme kind of, obviously talking about like, oh, you know, save the planet basically. It's just my biggest gripe is why the fuck did it have to be 2 hours? Why did it have to be 2 hours? Oh my God, we sat there for 2 hours just doing nothing. Just nothing. It was literally just Jennifer Lawrence being very obviously disturbed by what's happening to her house, and Javier Bardem just being like, it's fine, it's okay, it's fine. Like, no, it's not fine.
So what I love about the discourse around this movie is sort of the making of it, which is apparently like I think it was like during Hurricane Sandy, Darren Aronofsky was like stormed into his house, and he had like a fever or something, and wrote this movie in like a half fugue state.
Jesus.
And the thing is like Darren Aronofsky, like just that name makes him sound like a very pretentious art house director, because he is. But like David Lynch, who I honestly thought was British until I heard the motherfucker talk, and I'm like, wow, he's a goober. I love the man, but he sounds like a fucking goober. Fucking Darren Aronofsky sounds like a New York cab driver. He's just like, the movie's about Mother Nature and how we're ruining Mother Nature, and how it's like also like the book of Genesis and shit. And like, I'm just like,
he sounds like a complete fuckwad, but he's trying to make like this like high end movie, and it's like you said, like this. It's a whole like if you haven't seen it at this point, it's basically like this husband and wife live in this great big house, and then like the husband's just a shitbag. And he has like this like constantly raging party with hundreds of people, and Jennifer Lawrence is just beleaguered at all times.
But because Javier Bardem is God and Jennifer Lawrence is Mother Nature, And then Ed Harris and Michelle Pfeiffer, I think, or I forget the other woman. They're Adam and Eve, and then their sons Cain and Abel come, and it's just like
the whole thing is like some bullshit for global warming, and it's fucking dumb.
And then it is for global warming, but then like she has a baby, and that baby's Jesus, and then like God, Javier Bardem gives Jesus to the people. The people kill him because they crucify him, but he comes back, and then they cannibalize him like the early church did for their own political benefit.
So, like, it's just like, man, fuck off.
Yeah, like this movie is like the worst aspects of art house cinema.
Yeah, like before we started the movie,
I haven't seen it, but from what people say,
that's pretty much everything I've ever heard about the movie. It's just fucking just rote garbage.
If you want to be mad, watch it. That's all I really gotta say.
I mean, JoJo just explained the whole movie right then and there. I mean, that's basically it.
And 2 fucking hours.
There's
that's it.
Yeah. Because for the first hour, it's just Jennifer Lawrence getting very justifiably mad. And like, oh my God. It's like, I'm like, because I heard it was such a trip, and I'm like, when is it going to start tripping? Because right now it's just kind of tripping, but it's kind of like a justified tripping of like, why the fuck are these people in my house, and why are they being such assholes? And and it's just you're trying to chill, and Ed Harris just comes in with Michelle Pfeiffer, and they just won't stop.
She was such a bitch too. She was you oh my God. You know what?
Why doesn't your husband fuck you? It's like, oh my God, get out.
Why aren't you pregnant? Oh, you can't have kids, can you?
Oh, it's him, isn't it?
You're going to have to change your panties. These aren't going to do it for him.
You're so submissive and breedable.
It was fucking terrible. I hated it, man.
It was so funny. No, I did think it was kind of... I did think it was kind of cool because it was like, okay, I get it. Where there was riots happening. There was a funny part with Kristen Wiig where she just started executing people.
That was pretty fucking funny.
I'm just imagining
there were people blindfolded,
just like bringing the guillotine out, and it's funny as shit.
Well, no. Okay, it was kind of cool actually, where there's people that were put on the ground blindfolded, and then she would just walk, dual wielding 2 pistols, just shoot them, but walking like a total badass.
What the fuck?
Like, what's going on? And then, but like I said, there was executions going on. There was a revolution. There was military. There's war. There's all this stuff. And I was like, okay, I get it. This is the Earth. All this shit's happening. Yeah, okay, whatever. Why did it have to be 2 hours? Why?
It was so fucking long, so bad. Before we started watching, Wenzel, I asked what other movies this guy directed, and Wenzel said Requiem for a Dream. He's coming up with the Whale movie starring Brendan Fraser, and I was like, oh, okay, I love Brendan Fraser. I've been looking forward to that, I guess, because it's Brendan Fraser just being a fat guy.
I mean, I'm glad Brendan Fraser's getting back out there, getting his career, and our second resurgence and people loving on the internet. But like the plot of that movie feels a little insulting. Like
it's such an insult.
I never want to see that movie. But I'm most likely gonna watch it because I'm a movie nerd now,
Yep.
And I know I'm gonna be mad when I watch it.
Isn't like the gimmick like Brendan Fraser plays a lighthouse keeper, but it's like he's 600 pounds because he's lived in this lighthouse for so many years or some shit. Like this feels kind of mean.
Very mean.
It does.
Cruel.
The poster they have for it though on Letterboxd looks cool. It's just a whale shark. Pretty sick.
Man.
Art.
Yeah, so like just fuck it, dude, Darren, do something else. Just stop it. Don't direct anymore. Your Requiem for a Dream was fucking bad too. I don't want to watch a Black Swan anymore. Fuck you.
He did The Wrestler. One of my favorite just like concepts in a movie was when he did Noah with Russell Crowe and Emma Watson.
He did Noah?
Oh my God, yeah, he did Noah.
And they had like Lord of the Rings ass fucking rock giants.
Yeah, they did. God. And
which was sick.
What I thought was funny is that movie somehow didn't appeal to anybody because like regular like secular people's like this just kind of looks generic and not interesting, and then religious people's like this isn't the Bible story of Noah because there's like fucking rocks and monsters and shit. So like, why? What is it? Why does this movie exist?
For dare not.
I don't know. I feel like it kind of made.
Ego, that's what.
It kind of made the Bible kind of badass, but not really.
It's already badass, bro.
I don't know. The rock monsters. So okay, spoiler for Noah. The rock monsters are were the angels who
Fell to earth.
I don't want to. They're fallen angels. Yeah, because they're not necessarily the same ones that rebelled against God with Satan. They're the ones that like they felt bad for the humans, and God was like, if you like him, and they love the earth, and they're like, if you like it so much, then here you go. So he threw them into the fucking ground basically, and since they loved the earth so much, they fused with it and became rock monsters. And it was kind of sick.
Well,
there was
that
even
makes
a part
God
there.
sound like a cunt. Which granted, the Bible doesn't do God any favors in that regard.
That's just
which is like so true. Which is so true, and it's kind of fucked up because he was like, if you love the earth so much, then why don't you become a part of it? And they fused with it.
God, like literally, like God, like not to get all off on a religious tangent, but
let's keep that kind of brief.
But the way that God is written in both the Old and New Testament is like an abusive dad.
Technically.
Like if you apply the same standards that God acts in both testaments of the Christian Bible, and you like if like a person did that shit, they would be labeled a cult leader and crazy and should be thrown under the jail. So why do we worship a beard man in the sky who's basically just like abusive sky daddy? I don't want to do that.
Because they're not human. They're some kind of being, so the standards is different. I don't know. People are weird.
It's because people don't think about this shit.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
We're all big brains.
I will say though,
here in the basement.
Yeah.
In Noah, there's actually another cool scene where the fallen angels, they're being attacked by humans and they're running away. And one guy, Methuselah, he gets really fucking pissed, so he walks up and brings out a sword and then just sets everybody except for the rock monsters on fire. It's super sick. He literally takes a sword and throws it into the ground and just scorches the land. It's actually kind of cool.
Like, but Methuselah have like a giant flaming sword? Like, whatever.
Yeah, no, he walks up. He's like an armorer, and he's like he's pissed off, so he takes it out, and the sword's on fire, and then he puts it in the ground, and it sends this huge just shockwave of fire that just completely annihilates all these people. Because he's like, why are you attacking the angels? There's nothing wrong, but because we're human and we're scared of things that are different, he's like, fuck all of you. So he kills them all.
Making the Bible come alive.
You know what? I'll send you the video. You don't need context for this. Sure. So.
All right. Well, Colt Wenzel had their movie night. So what we're gonna do is take a break real quick and get in on the other half of the AYCH team and what they've been up to. So we'll be right back. Welcome back. Part 2, episode 246. Another banner session. We're gonna catch up. What JoJo and I have been up to. But Wenzel has one more thing to say on the movies they watch, so I want you tidy your part up real quick.
All right. So right before our big movie day, I watched a movie. It was on Criterion, and I've been meaning to watch it because it was on so many like best film list of like I want to say 2019. It came out in 2018 originally, and so I've been meaning to watch it, but then it left. But it's on Canopy, so I watched it. It's called The Wolf House, and it was freaking awesome. I did not have much context for what it was dealing with, but essentially, it's about it's about a girl who runs away and finds a house, and she basically lives in this house on her own, trying to build a life for herself. But what it's actually about, and what it's like commenting on, or it's a commentary on, or dealing with, is that so in Chile, there's a really, really terrible period where there was Pinochet, the dictator, who took it over. But what I didn't know is that there was actually a colony ran by a Nazi, and he was under Pinochet. And this colony in Chile was notorious for its torture and its horrible child sexual abuse. And that's what this film is dealing with. And I'm like, holy shit! Like, that's wow.
Yeah. And the U.S. helped prop up Pinochet, which is a fucked up thing.
There's honestly, when it comes to all foreign cinema, foreign media, it makes me want to learn more and more and more. Like, I want to watch now more stuff about Chile and read more stuff about Chile. But then also I get into this thing me and Colt talked about where I'll watch something, or he'll watch something that's related to foreign cinema, and it's like, well, shit, now I want to watch more of this. And it's like, it's just so much stuff that's out there, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so it's like, so one of the things about it is that it's just a hallmark of animated cinema, but animated in a sense that they literally utilize a whole freaking house, and it's a combination of like claymation, paper mache, painting. It's really crazy. At first, though, I would say for the first 15 minutes, you kind of get used to it, but like, I moved and I realized how dizzy I was, because it does the whole time lapse thing and you really notice it, and it's very shaky when it does it. But other than that, you get used to it, and it was really cool. Like, painting, when I'm talking about painting, what they'll do is like when stuff is moving, or like when you're like when the camera's moving or a character's moving down the hall, they'll paint it in like a way that makes it seem like, oh, this is how movement is being shown or orchestrated, and it'll just continuously paint, or stuff will be removed or whatever. It was really cool. If you have Canopy, or if you have a chance, I'd watch it. Watch this great movie about just terrible, awful shit that happened during Chile's history. Again, it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, Wenzel's just like, whenever I read more about historical atrocities, it just really wets my whistle. I need to know more.
It's all that morbid curiosity is human.
Also, dude, you gotta learn. I mean, you gotta learn about this stuff, because the world ain't, it ain't squeaky clean. I already know, you already know it's covered in shit. But man,
yeah, there's a lot of doo-doo
it's a lot
under
of
the
shit.
rug.
It's a lot of doo-doo, a lot.
Yeah, you could be sitting in doo-doo right now.
I could be, or I am.
Oh yeah. Hey, everybody that's got a full diaper, F's in chat.
F. Oh, now do you?
Yes, F's and shit.
JoJo just there. Never forget, this is a full diaper household.
Full diaper household.
Never forget, this is our podcast.
Yep. Can you believe, hell, almost 5 years. Almost 250 episodes.
Yeah.
Just nonsense.
Hey, folks like it. But, I guess we'll get into what the art house side of things has been doing this week.
I don't think we will.
But,
yeah, I don't think we want to know, because somebody broke an embargo.
Oh,
yeah, you did.
Fuck off! God damn it! Fuck you.
Okay, because I totally forgot that it was part of the embargo, because someone made like one message about it in the group chat like 2 months ago.
No. I remember this. Me and Colt remember this perfectly. We've done 2, maybe 3 episodes where right before we'll randomly talk about Phantom Paradise, and then we'll say, you know what, embargo. The first time we said embargo, we're going to watch it all together, and then the second time it was brought up, Pat talked about how JoJo wanted to see it, so that'd be a good little like get together for the lads to watch. So no, and then we did put it in chat. So no. You've been notified 3 times of this embargo.
Oh, fuck.
So no.
One movie I said not to watch.
This is the one thing. The one thing Colt wanted.
All right. But God, no,
I didn't. Really,
I think y'all are gaslighting me. I don't.
Also, I
believe
think
y'all.
Colt Wenzel are kind of acting like cops right now. Just saying.
I think so too.
You're under arrest for breaking the embargo.
If I was currently aware of the embargo, I wouldn't have fucking watched it. But like, I rented it. I paid money for it, and Pat comes in. What you watching? I said I'm watching Phantom of the Paradise. He's like, oh, I think they have an embargo on it. I was like, well, tough shit. I've already paid money.
Oh my god! You said that, and now you just admitted it too. You admit that you just completely just sideswiped our embargo. Oh my god! You are going to be punished for this.
I do not like the tone of your voice, sir. I thought this was a fucking anarchist commune, not a fucking fascist dictatorship.
Hey,
don't break the embargoes. We have certain things set in place. You don't do that.
So, rules are just guidelines. They're meant to be broken.
No, I was at my ex job when Colt saw that these 2 fuckers watched
quit
this
his
movie.
job, by the way.
Oh yeah, I quit my job. No, I was at work, and when Colt said this, there was nobody in there. I literally yelled "fuck" so loud. I was so mad.
I'm legitimately sorry. I just it was mentioned like embargo like very far apart. Like the few times y'all ever mentioned it.
Well, we still have plenty of movies on the embargo list, Wenzel.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay.
But no, do not say that, because if there's few movies on there, then you should have known, because there's not a lot. So there only takes.
Breathe.
It takes so little.
There's literally one movie.
It's gonna be okay.
I mean, we still got plenty more to see.
Also, we can all watch it together. I really fucking loved it.
It's not a one and done movie. I mean, like,
no,
it's not the same.
That's not how that works.
It's not the same.
That's not the same. That's not how that works.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna have to grab my goddamn monkey. It's not a monkey, it's a dog. I'm gonna have to grab him, and I'm gonna have to rev him up.
What does that mean?
It's gonna show them a picture of fucking JoJo and Pat and say, "Go get them."
No, because so Cooper, we changed his name to Monkey. Heads up for everybody listening. So what I've noticed he does is that when I pick him up and hold him for long enough, when I set him down, he just fucking goes. He just runs. He goes so apeshit. He just starts doing zoomies. He gets so excited, and then he just stops, and he just stares at me. And like I just do this, and like if I hold him, so sometimes if I hold him for really long, he'll do it for really long, but if I hold him really short, then he'll only run for like a second or so. It's so funny, and I'm gonna rev him up.
It sounds like he's one of like those little like cars you pull back and let go and it just take off. But
that's exactly what it is. And I'm gonna rev him up. Because you guys have broken a sacred holy doctrine.
Yeah, well, tell you what, brother. These cheeks are ready for spanking. Come get it.
Time will come. The time will come.
The time.
But anyway, talk about your stupid fucking movies.
All right, I will.
I guess we just should talk about Phantom of the fucking Paradise now.
Phantom Paradise, it fucking rocked. We had a great time watching it.
It's an awesome musical. It's got good fucking just weird ass 70s acid music.
It's queer as hell.
Queer as fuck. The fucking Phantom looks sick as fuck. Basically, the inspiration for Griffith
And Berserk.
And Berserk,
obviously,
just fucking
obviously.
And it's a movie about the music industry and why it's fucking evil.
And like for a movie that's from the 70s. Like, it's shockingly prescient even today.
Yeah, it was like it's like the same like level of like midnight movie as Rocky Horror.
Oh,
but I think this is a lot better than Rocky Horror.
Oh wow. Okay.
I mean, like, Rocky Horror is like one of the most well-known midnight movies, but it's kind of basic bitch midnight horror. Let's be honest.
Like,
I mean, no shade to all the rock heads out there. You do, you boo. But, like,
real.
I feel like, you know the meme of, like, the iceberg where you have, like, the tip is, like, all the, like, the mainstream ones, and then you just get down further and the more deranged it gets. I feel like Phantom of Paradise is one of the under the water wrongs, but to me, like, I feel like most people know about Rocky Horror. Not too many people know about Phantom of the Paradise. And to me, it's like, it's just a lot of fun. Yeah. But I guess we'll just move on if, people are still a little sore. So we have some other stuff to talk about.
No, I was just gonna say I'm definitely gonna try to watch this month because I'm excited.
Yeah, I fucking love the movie. It's one of my favorites.
I'm glad you guys liked it though.
It was a really good time.
Fucking sick.
Like I said, I didn't get to watch too many movies this week. One was Pinocchio, but you can listen to that on last week's episode of Cage and Greatness, which we watched Pinocchio for Nicolas Cage's belated birthday, Pinocchio being one of Nicolas Cage's 13 favorite movies. And that's the one we spun the wheel on, and that's the one we watched. So, yeah. Walt Disney went crazy for his second movie. Can't believe he did all that shit. It introduced people to furries, war, and body horror, and the genteel year of 1940.
Yep.
That little wooden bitch.
Yep. And I watched a new kaiju movie earlier this week called Howl from Beyond the Fog. I remember hearing about this movie last year a little bit, sort of in the Toku circles, like basically the movie coming about. It was this movie that was funded on Kickstarter, and it's directed by Daisuke Sato, who's like well known as like a like producer and like creator in kaiju films, like just from decades past, like working like with making kaiju. And this is his director, and this is him as a director. And I feel a little bad because the movie was fairly, well liked amongst Toku circles, but I just felt a little let down by it, because I know because a lot of time and effort and work went into it. It's a passion project, but it just didn't really land with me. I'm sorry to say, like I think the kaiju itself was just this blind lake creature, kind of like a brontosaurus, but with like mangroves growing off of his back. Because the plot of the movie is just it takes place in feudal Japan, or maybe not in feudal Japan, but sort of like the late 1800s. Like basically, they're still kind of feudal, but there's like more modern conveniences as they're like slowly integrating with the rest of the world. But this young man goes to live with his estranged family in the country, and they kind of resent him living there. And he sort of makes friends with his blind cousin, who's kept in sort of the hidden passages of the house, because she's seen as like this blight on the family. Basically, her mother, caused a big stir, left the family grounds, came back pregnant, had her, and they sort of just resented her for not following the traditional path. So when the girl's mother died, they sort of just locked her up in an attic. So every night this girl sneaks out to this lake where the monster lives, and she has like this kinship with it, because like they're both blind, but they're sort of like outcasts amongst the larger world. And when he discovers her, seeing this monster, they sort of grow in their relationship, and then these people find out about it, and that sort of kickstarts the whole. It's a short film. So basically, this monster sort of escapes, and in his sort of rage for the young girl being attacked, he sort of just like pillages and like sets fire to the town, and basically sort of like nature reclaiming sort of like natural spaces after human greed and development and so forth. So it has like a nice message, nice music. It's just, I just really hate to say that there's just not a very good blend of the CG and the practical effects. And this is coming from someone who loves like the early 1960 practical effects. It's just, you can tell it's a very meager budget and where its budget went. So like the digitally imposed parts are very apparent and not very seamless. But I still respect the hell out of this movie and for the effort and the spirit that it has. And it's a genuinely like emotionally provoking film. It's just, you kind of have to look past these really weird looking human puppets. And I mean, they're really uncanny and like not in like an endearing way.
Yeah.
So in a perfect world, this would have had the budget to be the movie it deserves to be, but unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world. So your mileage may vary. I would definitely, at the very least, check out the making of documentary, because on Letterboxd in certain places, like it says it's like an hour and change, because the movie itself is like 30 minutes and it's like a 40-minute documentary. Depending on where you rent it from, you might get both packaged together.
Okay.
Oh wow!
But the actual like production of it is like very interesting, and the haunting of the creature's roar is like very haunting, because it kind of sounds like if a foghorn could be sorrowful. That's basically how I would describe it.
Okay.
Because it's inspired by an old movie from like the 30s, one of the earliest like monster films, of this monster that comes to shore every night where this lighthouse is, because the lighthouse has a foghorn that sounds like a member of its species. So you have this like broken-hearted monster that comes out every night at sea, hoping that it's another one of its kind, but it never is. But he always goes back just in case. So it's a really heartbreaking movie, but
Yeah.
I kind of wish that its pieces were just kind of put together better with like more capital, basically.
Yeah.
So, and the second movie I watched, in a similar sense as a labor of love, I watched The House, which is a Netflix movie that came out January 14th, very recently. Because I've seen some people on the horror side of my Twitter like, "Oh, we watched The House. We watched The House." I'm like, where the fuck are y'all watching this movie? And I was like, "Oh wait, it's on Netflix. It just came out. I just forgot about it." And
Yeah, that's actually, I plan on watching it
Me too.
this week.
and
Well, not this week, but I plan on watching it.
I definitely recommend it. It's like 90 minutes. It's a breeze. And what it is a stop motion film that has three separate stories, but all three stories are like linked by a singular location, which is the titular house. And I will say, while it has been billed in some places as a horror movie, I would say, spoiler alert, the first one is the only one that's kind of horror-like. It gets progressively more positive, lighter in tone as it goes on. Not to its detriment at all, because it's also kind of billed in certain places as a dark comedy. And the first act is definitely the darkest, and it's the most moody and severe. And the other, they get progressive light. The second one's the funniest. Like, it's legitimately funny. And it's just to see how these different characters react to this very unusual house. And to me, what's interesting about the actual stop motion is that it's not made with this sort of clay-like material. It's like this strange felt material.
Yeah.
Like, everything in the movie is made from this felt-type material. And, like, it's really interesting, and like it's just achingly detailed. Like, I was just like really in awe of just the level of artistry and over the entire film. Definitely check it out. It's on Netflix. Like, you don't have to pay anything. It's easy to watch, easy for free. So I watched that the morning of this recording, and it's definitely one of my favorite of the year so far. Like, it's just a really interesting movie, and that
Poggers.
And that first act of the original family that lives in the house it's really like maybe creepy is too hard of a word, but it's definitely like unsettling and like deliberately so, especially with how the people look. With like great big head, itty bitty face in the center of the head. Like it's interesting, but I definitely recommend that one for sure. And lastly, I started a new TV show. I watched the first 3 episodes of Reservation Dogs.
Ooh, how's that?
Yes.
Because it's been on my list for a minute. Colt started watching it earlier this week too, and basically the premise is these 4 indigenous teenagers are just like stealing, vandalizing, by hook or by crook, scrounging together money so they can pull up stakes from their sort of dead end town and go to California, and it's kind of shows in like a very unerring eye like how beleaguered a lot of indigenous like towns and populations and communities are. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's funny as fuck. Like it's legitimately like I was like laughing nonstop throughout the first 3 episodes. Like it's a very good show, and it's Taika Waititi. He's one of the people involved with like creatively, and you can tell like it's a super fun movie, super fun show, and very funny, and just sort of seeing their sort of like hood rat like games as they sort of like run around town and try to like scrounge money and just like raise hell, and seeing a perspective that you very rarely get to see, especially from like an indigenous point of view. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting, and then like it's truthful, like it's honest, like you realize, damn, they really have a short end of the stick, and I appreciate them being like very honest with like how they're able to just like express themselves, but also just like the reality of it, like how a lot of indigenous people still live in America. And I'm definitely interested because the way people talk, there's like another dimension in terms of like tone and like what will come in the show. So I'm very interested to see how that other half of the show kind of builds itself up. And plus, every episode is like 30 minutes, so like you can really knock it out.
Yeah, it's like Atlanta in that regard.
Yeah, so that's on Hulu streaming, so I would definitely recommend that as well. Reservation Dogs, very good.
Hell yeah.
All right, it's JoJo's turn. I think you've had a big story that you've been holding on to for a little bit. So, why don't you tell us about?
I've been waiting.
A very special date you had last week. The reason why you weren't on last week's episode.
Okay, so there was a reason I wasn't on the episode.
Last week.
Last week, yeah. I'm sorry, it took me a minute. I might be a little inebriated as well. So, fair warning, because this story is scattershot.
JoJo, I can't believe you're drinking on the job.
Shh.
Like this job, not their paying job.
Oh, no. I would never do that. I was going, a friend came from out of state. I went and saw him. And while I was talking, or while I was hanging out with this friend, I get a call from my boss's wife. And to give a very brief summary of the new job I have is I work as sort of this personal assistant to this blind guy who does piano tuning. And he has his hands in a bunch of other pots too, like having like, doing fire extinguishers and some other things. But he's also, he's a piano tuner. He's a musician, a drummer by trade. So part of my job is to help him set up and take down their musical equipment and stuff for his band. But they were calling me in a panic because I wasn't on the schedule, but the guy who normally does it got COVID. So I came in. I was like, I had to go to a wedding, so I missed some hours. I was like, all right, I'll make these up. I get there and we drive out south of where we're at, like about an hour or so, and we're in the middle of nowhere. And we pull up to the place, and as we're turning onto the dirt road, there was this fucking, it was a bunch of hay bale art. Like, it was this big open field with these giant hay bales, and they had like a bunch of like faces or folk artsy types of things added to him. It was kind of unnerving and uncanny because the faces were kind of wonky, and it was like
The Wicker Man.
huh?
The Wicker.
Redneck Wicker Man.
No, this was not redneck shit, and we're going to get to that. This is bougie shit.
But I'm also kind of imagining an alternate reality where somehow JoJo gets like locked up inside a giant like big owl, but it's just made of like sticks.
Honestly, I thought I was in like The Wicker Man, Eyes Wide Shut, and The Most Dangerous Game all at the same time.
Damn.
That's sort of a preview for what's about to happen. So we go down this dirt road, and this dirt road goes on forever. Like 5 minutes or so, and we finally get to the pavilion that the show is going to be at. And it is like fucking bougie, right? Like, it's this large deck on the river. At the end of the deck, there is an in-ground pool built into the deck. And this is on the river. So we get them set up, and this concert was for this old man's birthday party. And when I say old man, I'm talking motherfucker looking like Prince Philip before he died. I've seen skeleton animatronics at Six Flags that were more lively than this man, let's just say. And because, you know, he was super old, a lot of the music they were playing was like 40s, 50s, 60s rock and roll, rockabilly doo-wop sort of stuff. You know, they get up there, they start playing, and I'm just, you know, I'm sitting there, you know, having a good time. And I notice there's an open bar. We get there, you know, early-ish in the morning, you know, at least for like a Sunday. It was like 10 or 11. And even as we were setting up, we could tell, and the one lady in particular already had a few drinks in. So people were starting to get real crunk. So at one point, I go to use the restroom. And, you know, I go to use the restroom. I'm coming out, and I hear the band. They're playing the song Rockin' Robin. It was, if you know what that song is. It was covered by the Jackson 5. It's, you know, just sort of like a classic rock and roll staple. And these older women are out in front of the band in basically big bird like plague mask and like big bird like boas around their necks, and they're just like shittily dancing. The best I could describe. They're dancing to the song. And someone mentioned beforehand, it's like, oh, we'll get the Birdettes to perform during Rockin' Robin. I'm like, all right, what the fuck? Who the fuck are the Birdettes? And apparently it's just these old ladies in fucking Eyes Wide Shut gear dancing.
Oh, God.
I mean, they weren't like nude or anything. Like, they were decently clothed. But it was just like, it was a masquerade, like, big bird, like, plague mask. It was really uncanny. So I'm already like, red flags are going off, right? Like I said, I felt like I was about to be in like The Wicker Man, Midsommar, Eyes Wide Shut, and The Most Dangerous Game. Like,
and you know what? We'll just throw in The Expendables too.
Yeah.
For no reason.
I mean, for as surreal as the day got, I wouldn't put it past it. I was like, you know, this is just happening.
Like
now.
John just looks around and it's like fucking Jason Statham and Mickey
Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, they're just there. Like they're like, wait, hold on. How do they know these blokes?
So after they play that song, they take their first break. They took about a couple breaks to get food, to rest, that sort of thing. And I gave my boss my seat because I really didn't need it. I didn't really want to socialize with anybody because one, I just felt way too like poor, for lack of a better word. I'm like, I don't belong here. So I'm just going to like keep to myself a lot of the time. And there was this one table, like how like some patio furniture has, it's like that black grate type material, like for both the table and chairs. So I sat down at one of those tables, and I'm kind of just people watching, looking at the crowd. And I turned to my right and lock eyes with this woman who probably my mom's age. I'm just going to describe for effect. Had like kind of really curly, kind of greasy looking hair. Oof. With like a fucking baseball cap forward, a Bud Light in her hand, and some of the biggest fucking boobs I have ever seen. It was like a fucking 14-year-old boy went on the boob slider and turned all the way up. Like disproportional. Like, I'm not trying to be gross or nasty. It was just like it was like someone took the boob slider on this poor woman and just cranked it to max.
Jesus.
And, all right. She gets up from her seat across the patio, walks over, sits down uncomfortably close next to me, and is trying to have conversation. And I'm kind of giving her like short, like very curt answers because I don't really want to talk to this lady because she's also, you could probably tell, has had at least like 5 beers, and she's kind of feeling it.
She's feeling them BLs.
And while she's trying to talk to me, and she's really like uncomfortably close, like right here,
just like
right in my face,
like talking in their face, like you can feel their breath.
Yeah, it was terrifying. So the golf cart holding the old man's whose birthday,
the living corpse of this old man,
the living corpse of the birthday boy. They wheeled it.
I think he had one birthday too many.
The dude was strapped into this golf cart that they kind of rode around. So they parked it right next to me, and people started coming up, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't be sitting here. That's sort of the vibe I'm getting. I should probably leave. But I'm like, no one's saying anything, so I don't know. And I turn over, and this man, this kind of, he was probably about like half a head shorter than me. Really skinny, really lanky. Looked just like your typical dad. Starts waltzing up, or not waltzing up, more like dragging his feet. Dude looked like a sad puppy. He looked like fucking Eeyore. And sits next to this woman, and come to find out it was her partner. So I'm putting like 2 and 2 together. It was like, okay, if I do not leave now, they are about to propose a 3-way, and I am really uncomfortable.
Jesus. Because when JJ was describing like this couple, it was literally came to mind of just like the main couple. It's like, dear, it's time for your 4 p.m. dick stomping. It's like, yes, dear, like the shriveled up dude.
Yes. It was all. It was like I fucking. They gave off the vibe, and this may not have been their intent, but at the same time, it felt like this lady was just like, I want you to cuck my husband. And so I start to get up, and as I get up, she grabs my leg and is like, honey, you don't have to leave. So
all right.
I'm like, okay, I just got to use the restroom. And I panic. So I just go and sit back down next to my boss's wife. Luckily, she left me alone after that. So I was very thankful. But it was a very uncomfortable experience. And like I was talking with Cody, and Cody had an experience of New Year's that was similar.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and we like, and I, this isn't the first time shit like this has happened to me. Like, old ladies are weird when it comes to shit like that.
The story you told about you working at Lowe's and the lady with the shower head problem came up to speak to you.
Yeah, and she wanted me to she wanted me to cuck her husband too. Like, she was wanting to fuck me, and it was really uncomfortable.
Yeah, you can listen to that episode in detail on KG Greatness. On I think it's Straight Shooting 2.
It's one of those.
Yeah, where JoJo goes into full detail. It's a fucking hysterical story, but also like you this seems to be a pattern for you that old ladies just like, hey, fuck me and let my husband watch, or maybe don't watch,
or I don't know. It's just something about like older ladies, and nothing against older ladies. I like older ladies. I tend to like older women, but you know when people are just being creepy. It's the thing. It's just like, please, just like get away. You're being weird. But yeah, so that happened, and then they get back up on stage, and they start playing a little more like a little newer music, and I say newer, like 70s is like the newest music they started playing, but it was a little more upbeat, a little more distorted. So it got these fucking boomers a dancing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you sent some TikToks of them dancing, and it was some funny shit.
It was fucking hilarious. And me and my boss's wife, we were just hooting and hollering, right? And we were both like taking photos, pictures. There was this one guy. I'm going to do it on off mic to show Pat. But this guy kind of squats down, and you can, and this is like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and people are like, they're gone. And this guy bends down, squats, starts doing this like bouncing motion, and like swinging his arms back and forth like this.
It's like as JoJo's doing as they described, basically someone like just imagine like a geriatric old man like squatting down and doing like just a little booty bump like shit. It's like a boomer
dick riding.
No, like it's like literally like he's just like squatting down on the ground, but he's kind of like bouncing on the toes of his feet, but it's like
like a monkey,
and kind of like swinging his arms back and forth
like a monkey. That's what a monkey does.
It's so fucking weird, and oh my god, this is why rich white people are annoying as shit.
But also don't forget that there are those two old ladies like squat down with him, like patting his butt.
Oh yeah, the lady, the drunkest of them all, just comes up and just starts smacking the dude's ass. I'm like,
just like a monkey.
What? I felt like I was in like the middle, like the middle of Inland Empire, the David Lynch movie, where shit's just going bananas and you don't know what's going on. I felt. Everything was so uncanny, unnerving. No one knew how to talk like a human. It was the most bizarre thing. You know, sort of how like rich people just have this way of speaking that just feels just inhuman. It was that way, and it was so fucking uncomfortable. Like when I came home and I finally had a chance to like relax, I was sore the next day.
It's like they were just clenched for like 8 hours.
For legitimately 8 hours.
Jesus, I could see that.
It's like JoJo went to work and just like rolled up into like a David Lynch movie.
And I came out and I came back home and things finally just felt normal. And
except for the blue box that you found at the foot of your bed.
Oh yeah.
But
And then I opened the blue box and then shit starts happening and then I wake up.
And then the old man who was like doing the booty shake and the old lady that was patting his butt, they're like really tiny and they just like scamper out of a bag.
Yep. That definitely happens.
And the lady with the big boobies appears from behind a trash can
Also
to scare you to
covered in
death.
shit. Just
covered in doo-doo. Which I will that actually will play into one of the movies I watched this year. Or rewatched, I should say.
Yeah, so someone in the house watched it for the first time.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, that was just sort of the story from there. There's one other bit where my boss screamed, "The South will rise again." That wasn't fun.
From behind a drum set. And the thing is, like, he's not from the South. He moved here from the North.
Doesn't make any sense. Why? Why would you? You know, I was telling Colt this. I was on my way to his house to watch these movies, and I see this one house that has 4 fucking flags. It's an American flag, a Confederate flag, a POW MIA flag, and then a Don't Tread on Me flag. And I'm like,
how did I
man,
like in my head? I was like, it's going to be an American flag, a rebel flag, a fucking POW flag, and a Don't Tread on Me flag. I was 4 for 4 in my brain.
That's fucking good. That's good. I wish we could give you a prize for that. It's the South, man. What a weird culture.
Yeah, like
they love it,
man. All kinds down here in the South.
They love being cucked.
Evidently,
yeah, they love being cucked, being racist, and eat hot chip.
They don't eat hot chip.
That's a joke. Oh my god, I'm Gen Z. I forgot y'all are over 25.
Millennials.
That came out like I was being really angry. I'm not. I'm sorry.
No, you're angry. Zoomers. We're gonna rule the earth.
Yeah, enjoy this fucking melting planet.
Yeah, deuces.
Oh, you think we're taking you out with us?
You're right next to us. You're melting with us.
Hey, my ass here is ready for the slapping. Come get it.
Have you heard of Roadblock?
Oh my god!
You really wanting to slap him?
Pat really wants us to spank him. I don't know what's going on.
Y'all don't have the guts, the balls, or the jus to clap my ass.
What's going on? Like I'm like at some point I'm like, you know what? Let's spank his ass. But then at another point I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, you be careful. You might not get it back. Ass like a steel trap.
What? Oh
Oh
no!
my god. Oh.
But yeah, that was that story.
John's weird Sunday afternoon.
I feel like I have like some sort of post-traumatic stress trauma from this shit.
I feel like you do have days where you'll just go off to work and just come back. Yo, I came back from like an experimental 1970s film, like some Dario Argento shit.
God, it was like,
Man,
yo, I woke
Darren
up, I was
Aronofsky on
in
this.
fucking El Topo. All right.
We need Darren Aronofsky to make a movie about this. Why is everybody quiet?
I don't know how that would work.
What do you mean you don't know how that worked? We just watched Mother, and that for some reason was a movie.
That was 2 hours.
What I would
That was 2
I
hours.
think it'd be more fun is the movie itself never gets made, but the documentary about the movie is what gets awarded because it's just 2 hours of us just screaming at Darren Aronofsky. You dumb fucking hick! Shut up! You're.
And then there's just a bunch of old women in bird mask dancing.
Yep. But we don't even know where they came from. They just started showing up. Everybody was uncomfortable. But yeah, did you watch any movies too?
Because the movies I've been watching have been very strange. I started the year off with a movie that I, like Pink Flamingos, had to really track down. I had to use like the fucking Wayback Machine to find. But it was a movie from 1971 called The Devils, directed by Ken Russell. And it's infamous for being one of the most censored movies of all time. And watching the uncut version, which was the one I tracked down, I get why, but also I've seen worse. People in the 1970s are fucking prudes. But the movie is this historical fiction movie about this real life witch hunt case where there was this French priest in this town who, like, the town wasn't Protestant, but they were more like inclusive to Protestants coming in, and they made a deal with the king that the king would leave them alone. So, you know, they're just chilling, minding their own business, but there are a lot of the noble people were like, man, we really want this fucking land, like really want it bad. But we got to get rid of that one priest, Father Grandier. Because everyone just fucking loves him. Like, we got to get rid of him somehow. So, for context, like, Father Grandier is just like Alpha Giga Chad, who just fucking lays pipe, just fucks every woman in this town.
On that Giga grind set, am I right?
And he ends up getting like a noble woman pregnant, and this is what comes to like bite him in the ass. But he's such a Giga Chad that fucks so hard, and there's these nuns at the nunnery who are so repressed and so just chaotically horny, specifically for this priest. Like, they go to confession and they're like, Father Grandier, I just want to fucking just go to town. Let's do it right now. And he's like, all right, my child. And then they start clapping cheeks.
Nice.
And so these nuns just go crazy, and they do like this like exorcism shit. And it's funny. Like, the way it's shot is funny because it's shot to make them look like buffoons. But it's also legitimately terrifying. And like, the king is just like an agent of chaos who just like comes in, basically tells like one of the priests who's doing the exorcism. That's spoiler. I'm not going to spoil it. But
all right.
The one of the scenes of this movie that got banned was a scene, and I think you should know this going in, where a bunch of very horny, very repressed nuns take down a statue of Jesus on the crucifix and fuck it. This
All
is
right.
the type of movie we're dealing with.
And like, I remember like seeing like clips and like images from the film, and it's just like, it's like these nuns with like these giant like floppy tits, just like getting fucked upside down, and just this giant flesh pile.
Yeah.
And like, this dude is just like bam, 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 bam. It's just like he's just like in this insane fuck priest.
But yeah, it's just so fucking bizarre. And so they basically frame the priest for witchcraft. And it's I highly recommend this movie. It's a full 5 stars. It's fucking fantastic. It's bleak. It's legitimately terrifying. And a lot of it has to do with the score, which was done by this avant-garde composer. So it's a bunch of like atonal, just like noises. And it's like, and all these people are just like freaking out and like shaking and shit. And it's unnerving. But yeah, the moral of the story, a priest fucks so hard and so good, and those nuns were so repressed and horny that it caused national political upheaval.
As it should.
Because like we talked a little bit last week about horny. Because I kind of gave him a prelude to your Devil's Talk, and man, it's 2 weeks in a row, baby.
2 weeks in a row. How many weeks in a row are we going to talk about horny nuns? We're going to try to make it all of them.
Which that sucks that it's so hard to find. Because I mean, not for the horniness. I do kind of want to watch it.
Like, tell me more about these nuns with the big tits.
But I can send you a link to it if you want me to. Because like Warner Brothers is never going to release this movie for some fucking reason. And like I said, it's not that like I don't get why it was banned, but also too, it was like I've seen worse in 2021 or 2022 now. You know what I mean?
Like, obviously, this was an extremely, like, sensory-attacking film when it was made out. Obviously. But, like, to a modern audience, it doesn't seem as... I'm sure it's still pretty fucking crazy, but, like... but it may not be like, oh, this is the most fucked up movie ever made.
Like I mean, I feel like there's, like, crazier shit in the Holy Mountain. And it came out, like, not that long after.
Also, you kind of have to take it with grading on a curb. We've seen probably more than our fair share of strange out there stuff. It still might be a sensory like attack for other people who may not has watched as more like artistic or like avant-garde films. Not to like make us seem like holier than thou or like highfalutin, but just
we've seen
I
shit.
am.
Yeah, but Wenzel, he brags. But yeah, I'm definitely, if nothing else, just sort of like really, it was entertained by your description of it. So like, and just like the actual concept, like this sounds insane.
Yeah, because the thing is usually I like, especially in like history when we talk about the Middle Ages, I never found Middle Ages politics like interesting. Like it usually was like the closest I came was like Game of Thrones, and that's fucking fantasy. But like the politics of the movie, like one like within the movie, and then just sort of commenting on like the dangerous relationship between the church and the state. Like, I don't know. It was just it is just really compelling.
Yeah,
and also like I'm usually not attracted to men, but that priest, I'm just saying I yeah, he's hot.
Because like he's such this like big,
yeah,
dude, like barrel-chested, burly ass dude.
The actor was a sailor.
You know, like old day sailor.
Oh,
like
that makes
old
sense.
day sailor. And they would say he would just like, you know, they'd get done shooting for the day. He'd go off the clock, go to a bar, drink, get in a fight, have like a black eye the next day, and they just like put makeup on. Or there's one scene in particular where he's just being shot from profile. It's to cover up like the big fucking bruise on the other side of his face.
So basically he would just be his character, but off the clock, kind of.
Kind of. But the priest, doesn't like fight. He just knows how to lay pipe.
He doesn't fight. He fucks. Capital L, fuck.
Yeah, it's but yeah, it's a really fucking great movie, and if you can get your hands on it, especially like an uncut version, it's really good. Watch Shaun of the Dead for the first time, like all the way through.
Oh wow,
it's really good. Really fucking good.
It's an awesome movie. I've seen it probably at least 10 times now, and it still is the same. I feel the same about it every single time.
Yeah, because Canon for Christmas got me the Cornetto trilogy on 4K.
Oh gosh.
So we're planning on going through that. The rest of those, the first of the year. However, there's one part in Shaun of the Dead that kind of had me and Cannon fucked up because Cannon forgot about it, and it's where what's his name, Nick Frost, just drops the hard R, N-word.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I forgot that too because I realized most of the times I've seen it has been on TV, so obviously that part's cut out.
That's censored, yeah.
But it's to illustrate like how much of a shithead he is. But it's still like, oh fuck, that is jarring to like, oh okay, they were doing that.
Yeah, it was like, watched Hell or High Water. Pretty fucking solid, great Western.
Yeah.
And the real villain of the movie was poverty the entire time.
Yeah. Turns out systemic poverty is the real villain.
I showed, because me and Cannon, this week, since, most everybody was kind of like trying to social distance and whatnot due to COVID, he would show me a movie that he's seen that I haven't, and I'd show him a movie I'd seen and I haven't. And I showed him two of my favorite movies of all time. And one, I was actually really surprised for his positive reaction. And then the other one was when I chose this movie to watch, I was like, why did I do this? This movie's a lot. But I showed him Mulholland Drive, which is legitimately one of my favorite movies ever made. I just fucking really enjoy that movie. And really felt like the empathy that Lynch is trying to pour into that movie. And Cannon really like fucking dug it, especially like after we talked about it for a little while, because we watched it the night before we had to be in a wedding. So like we talked about it that night, and then on the drive up there we talked about it the entire time. It was
hell yeah.
So I got him on the fucking Lynch train, and it makes me. It's a little more relieving now that it's like, okay, if he likes Mulholland Drive, he's going to love Twin Peaks. So I'm super excited for that. But I also showed him a Naomi Watts movie from 2007 called Funny Games.
Oh shit!
I forgot how just fucking bleak that movie is, and I mean, I shouldn't, because it's Mikhail Hanukkah and Hanky Chan. His movies will make you lose your soul. They're really fucked up, and Funny Games is definitely fucked up. All I'll tell you is it's about Naomi Watts, Tim Roth, and their son. They're a wealthy family. They're going to their little beach house for some sort of like bougie sport. I don't know, because I'm 2'4". And then these two teenage, early 20-year-old boys show up. And that's all I'm saying, because it descends from there. Cannon, I don't think he particularly enjoyed that one too much.
That one might have been a more bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah, because after that we were like, fuck, we need a palate cleanser. So he showed me one of his favorite movies, High Fidelity, with John Cusack, and
nice.
It's pretty fucking good. It's about John Cusack. He's a owner of this like record store, and they're like very like indie and very pretentious and hip, and it's like, oh, I only listen to the Smiths and Velvet Underground and stuff like that. And the whole movie is him slowly coming to the realization of, hey, I might be a fucking asshole, because he is just so insufferable. But despite that, like, it's a really fun movie. It's got Jack Black in it.
Because Jack Black also works at the record store, and I guess he serves as like the measure, like the yardstick, basically, of how John Cusack characters develops over the movie.
Yeah, but highly recommend that. Also, after watching Mulholland Drive, I got in the Lynch mood again, and I was like, I have one more of his I haven't checked out because I've been honestly too scared, mostly because it was 3 hours, and that was Inland Empire, which is basically take all the crazy shit from his movies, just the complete abstraction, make it 3 hours. It has Laura Dern, Jeremy Irons in a brief role, William H. Macy for a single shot. For a single shot. I'm like, where's William H. Macy? Oh, he's not in the movie again. One of Terry Cruz's first movies.
Oh shit! Okay.
He's in a scene, like a long scene, and I'm like, I couldn't pay attention because I'm like, that's Terry fucking Crews in this movie. What the fuck? But it's definitely very abstract, and the sort of genesis of the movie was David Lynch got this like shitty consumer grade digital camera, and he got in contact with Laura Dern, and they would talk about the movie, and he would like write a scene that night, and then the next morning they would shoot it, and then they'd repeat that process. So it has this very like free flowing association sort of feel to it. I definitely don't recommend this to everyone. I'm kind of glad I held off on watching it when I did, when I was more sort of receptive to it, because it is a lot. And even then, I still don't have a full picture of like the actual plot of the movie, if there even is one. But there is sort of like an emotional truth to it that even though I don't have like sort of a conscious like interpretation or meaning or like sort of conscious thoughts about it, there's still like it still resonated in a very emotional way. And then there's a song that kind of bookends the movie. I'll send in chat. That's really emotional. And it is legitimately one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen. There's one jump scare in the climax of the movie that I'm surprised I did not wake y'all up, because I damn near shit myself.
Oh shit!
And all I'll say is just spooky Laura Dern face.
I mean,
I'll show Pat.
I don't like that.
Oh fuck!
Damn, Pat.
Oh god, you're about to hear me shit. Because while they're looking at, because I remember seeing or hearing rather, like, oh, there's a David Lynch movie with a Laura Dern jump scare. It's like, what the fuck does that mean? Like,
oh yeah, the Laura Dern jump scare. Oh god, it's oh god, oh god,
oh god.
Why does everybody keep saying, "Oh God"? I don't want to.
It's not. It's not good.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Oh,
it's.
No, I kind of want to look at it now.
Look it up. Look it up
It's
right
so
now.
Oh, don't say that. I'm scared now.
God, yeah, like that would be like, imagine waking up middle of the night,
and it turns into that.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, and the thing is it like the scene is like Laura Dern is being confronted by this guy in the hallway, and there's just nothing but a flashlight, and she has a gun on him, and no context, out of nowhere, just that flashes. And just stays there, and it just it's a classical jump scare, and the whole thing is shot on this shitty ass camera, and it just adds to this grimy feel to the movie.
All right, that's kind of funny.
Like it looks,
It makes me want to watch this movie the more you describe it.
It looks okay. I'm not. It kind of reminds me of like an uncanny, like old like creepypasta image that you see.
Yeah, that's sort of the vibe
Yeah.
it gives.
But just like, deep fry it, and like that's a creepypasta.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's part of
Basically.
like Lynch's sort of visual effects style is especially in the digital age, is intentionally wonky. Like when we watch like season 3 of Twin Peaks, some of this is like, this looks bad. But it's like intentionally bad, which, like, you know, whether you like that or not, it's up to your personal taste. But
Well, you know, I will say, if like, okay, I'm kind of laughing at it now, but I bet if I was watching it and because I just sent a meme in our chat, and yeah, I think I would be terrified too. Yeah, you have, you know, oof. All right, kind of want to watch it now.
God, well, it's like, because the thing is like, I made sure to watch it at night in my room with headphones on, because I was like, I got to get the full effect.
Oh,
like pure, like sensory immersion.
And it really helped my enjoyment of it, but like that moment made me legitimately shit my pants.
God.
Almost.
I mean, yeah, like I said, if I was watching this movie, even if I knew, like, somewhere in the back of my head, oh, there's a Laura Dern jump, probably at this point I would have forgotten it. And just bam, like those old like gags of like, you go to the maze and like the Exorcist girl pops up. It's like that, but a film.
Yeah,
I would shit too.
Yeah, and the thing is I knew the Laura Dern jump scare was coming. I've seen that image before of the freaky, like the creepypasta Laura Dern face. And the entire time, because there's another scene that's not really a jump scare, and it's not as scary, but it's just like dark. And then there's just this light, and you see someone start running in slow motion towards the camera, and it's Laura Dern. And she does have this like exaggerated face, but it's you know, you kind of see it coming, and it's like, oh, okay. It's not really like that. Just no context, bam, and it's just like, I
was about to say because there's a thumbnail for this that jump scare where it says Susan running, and I'm like, that's kind of that is very creepy.
Yeah, and a lot of the movie is shot in just like really dark, like a lot of shadows, and like there's a lot of scenes that take place in this one room where it's kind of like shot at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, like the sun is beginning to set, and there's like a lot of the room. It's like a living room and then 2 doors or 2 like hallways, but the hallways are completely in shadow, so you're always like looking to see like where is shit going to pop out.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I think Wenzel might like it. I think this might be his speed, but like, I would recommend watching other David Lynch stuff before this one. Like, do not start with this movie.
This is very much the deep end of the pool.
Yeah, like there's a reason, like, outside of Dune, this was the last of his movies I watched. Also, like The Devils, it's stupid hard to find. Like, it doesn't have a Blu-ray or anything. I'm like, come on, Criterion, get the fuck on that.
All right. Well, just know, JoJo, your audio just did a really weird thing. It scared the shit out of me. I don't even know how to explain. It was like for a moment, your voice just distorted, high pitched for like a second. It sounded like the most evil and vile shit ever, and it scared me.
Okay, so I think I got one more movie. I'm going to be real quick with it because we're going to need to hurry up and wrap this up. But is Sunset Boulevard, which some people have said like Inland Empire kind of is somewhat of a remake of that movie. It's a movie from the 50s directed by Billy Wilder about this.
Is it fucking terrifying?
Huh? Does
it have a terrifying jump scare?
It doesn't have a terrifying jump scare. But it's about this guy, this writer who's like down on his luck, and the cops are trying to repo his car. So he finds just this random house and parks it in there. And turns out it's the mansion of this old famous silent movie star who got kind of cast aside, you know, once sound entered movies. And she makes him like rewrite his script, and you know, she's trying to make this big comeback, but it's like god fucking awful, and she just has this like snap in reality. It's a really good movie.
All right, cool.
And especially like if you want to get into like more like early cinema, I think it's a good place to start. But yeah,
It sounds very interesting.
That's all I had.
Cool.
So I think we had a pretty big week in terms of movie watching. No, because the world's putting us back indoors for the time being. So we're filling our time productively as we can. So I think this has been a good banner session. Good time to put a pin in it for take us on out for next week. So thank you all so much for listening today. We really appreciate you sticking with us through everything. We'll be here keeping the lights on. Y'all come back and just listen when you can, and we'll keep talking. Hopefully you'll keep listening. So be sure to follow us wherever podcasts are found: SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Anchor, Spotify. We're on all of those and more. Just be sure to like, rate, and subscribe on all those platforms. Helps us out, keeps the visible, puts in front of you listeners. We always appreciate you when you do it. You can follow us on our socials, on Twitter and Instagram at AYCH Podcast, Letterboxd, and Facebook at AllYouCanHear. And lastly, you can follow me, Patrick, on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at John Lost His Name.
My name is JoJo. You can follow me on Twitter at JONIOBY24 and John Owenson12 on Letterboxd.
My name Colt. Follow me on Twitter at ColtD00.
I am Wenzel. Thank you for listening. You follow me on Twitter at Wenzel. You can follow my art Instagram at WorldOfWenzy. I have a link tree. You can follow my Letterboxd or Goodreads on there. I talk about books and movies.
Hell yeah.
All right. Very nice. Take care of yourselves, and we'll be talking to you very soon. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Lower Dern Jumpscare.